In the dim, flickering light of a solitary lantern, shadows danced across the walls. It was in this haunting atmosphere that the tale of Oiwa unfolded. A story steeped in betrayal, vengeance, and the tragic transformation of love into something far darker. Oiwa was once the epitome of beauty and grace, her presence illuminating the lives of those around her. Her gentle laughter echoed through the narrow streets of her village, a sound that brought warmth to the coldest of hearts. She was married to Lemon, a roan whose spirit had long been shackled by the weight of unfulfilled dreams. Though their home was modest, Oiwa poured her heart into their life together, tirelessly working to support her husband, believing that love could conquer all. Yet, beneath the veneer of their humble existence lay a festering discontent. Lemon, consumed by ambition, grew resentful of Oiwa's unwavering devotion. In his mind, she became a symbol of his stagnation, a reminder of the life he yearned for but could not attain. The flicker of greed ignited within him, casting a shadow over the love he once cherished. It was not long before he encountered Ume, a radiant merchant's daughter, whose beauty captivated him like a moth to a flame. The allure of wealth and status wrapped around Iemon like a silken shroud, blinding him to the love that had once been his guiding light. As Iemon's heart strayed, Oiwa's world began to crumble. The moment she discovered his betrayal was a shattering one, her heart splintering like fragile glass. She confronted him, her voice trembling with anguish, pleading for fidelity, for the love they had sworn to uphold. But Iemon, now a stranger cloaked in cruelty, coldly dismissed her, his words dripping with disdain. "You are no longer enough for me." He spat, the venom in his tone piercing deeper than any blade. In that moment, Oiwa's spirit began to wither, the light in her eyes dimming as despair took root. The darkness that enveloped Iemon and was palpable, a sinister bond forged in their shared cruelty. Together, they concocted a plan to rid themselves of Oiwa, a scheme as twisted as their hearts. They presented her with a potion, masked as a remedy for her ailments, a deceitful gift that would seal her fate. Oiwa, trusting and naive, drank deeply from the cup, unaware that it held the poison of betrayal. As the vile liquid coursed through her veins, her body began to betray her in turn. The beauty that once captivated the village faded, replaced by grotesque disfigurement. Her once radiant face twisted into a mask of agony. Her hair fell in clumps, and her skin turned a ghastly shade of grey. Each day was a new torment, a reminder of the love she had lost and the life that had been stolen from her. In the suffocating darkness of her despair, Oiwa's suffering became unbearable. She wandered through the dimly lit corners of her home, a ghost in her own life, yearning for the man who had vowed to cherish her. But Iemon, repulsed by her transformation, turned his back on her, leaving her to drown in a sea of sorrow. It was in the depths of this anguish that Oiwa made the fateful decision to end her own life, a tragic release from the pain that had consumed her. Alone in her darkened room, she surrendered to despair, her heart breaking as she slipped away, leaving behind a world that had turned its back on her. But death did not grant Oiwa the peace she sought. Instead, it awakened a fury within her spirit, a rage that transcended the boundaries of life and death. As her soul lingered in the shadows, The air grew heavy with her presence. Iemon and Ume soon found themselves haunted by her ghost, her disfigured visage appearing in mirrors, her anguished cries echoing in their ears. No longer the gentle wife, Oiwa's spirit was now a tempest of vengeance, a force that sought retribution for the betrayal she had suffered. Iemon, once a man driven by ambition, was now a shell of his former self, consumed by paranoia. He could feel Oiwa's presence lurking in the corners of his mind, her voice a haunting whisper that taunted him, reminding him of his treachery. "You betrayed me," she would hiss in the darkness, her eyes burning with an otherworldly fire. He could not escape her wrath, no matter how far he fled. Each shadow seemed to morph into her likeness, each creak of the floorboards a reminder of the love he had shattered. Ume, too, found herself ensnared in Oiwa's web of vengeance. The beauty that had once captivated Iemon began to fade, her health deteriorating as Oiwa's spirit drained her vitality. The once vibrant girl became a ghost of her former self, a harbinger of the darkness that loomed over them both. The curse of Oiwa wrapped around them like a noose, tightening with every passing day, suffocating their hopes and dreams. In a final desperate act of rage and confusion, Iemon confronted Ume, his mind unraveling under the weight of guilt and fear. In his frantic state, he mistook her for Oiwa, the lines between reality and nightmare blurring until he could no longer discern friend from foe. In a fit of madness, he struck her down, believing he was vanquishing the spectre of his past. But in that moment of violence, he sealed his own fate, for the guilt that followed was a relentless spectre, haunting him with the knowledge of what he had done. Overcome by despair and the relentless grip of Oiwa's curse, Iemon took his own life, seeking to escape the torment that had consumed him. But even in death, he found no solace. Oiwa's spirit continued to pursue him, her face twisted in a grotesque mask of rage and sorrow, her presence an eternal reminder of the love he had betrayed. The darkness that had enveloped their lives now became their eternal prison. And so, in the dim light of the lantern, the story of Oiwa lingered, a tragic reminder of the fragility of love and the depths of betrayal. In the quiet corners of the world, her tale would be told, an echo of a love lost and the darkness that followed. A chilling reminder that some spirits refuse to rest,